The galaxy had a habit of meeting itself. Every few cycles, the great powers and the small nations came together at the Galaxy Assembly. They talked about borders, trade, threats, and peace. Lights from thousands of worlds filled the vast station that floated near the blue giant star. Flags and symbols glowed in the air. Voices of many species mixed into a constant sound. One name was always missing. Earth. For many cycles. Humans never sent a ship, a message, or a greeting. At first, the galaxy waited. Then it laughed. Then it stopped caring. Stories spread that humans destroyed themselves. Others said Earth was afraid. Some said humans were too weak to sit with the stars. On Earth, Kang Dejin stood inside a quiet room deep under the planet's surface. The walls were smooth metal. Soft lights showed maps of space. He wore a simple dark uniform with no bright signs. His face was calm, but his eyes were sharp. Across from him stood Liana. She held a tablet filled with data. Lines of text moved fast. Her hair was tied back, her posture straight. "The assembly begins in 40 hours, Liana said. "They still believe we will not come." Kang Dejin nodded. "Good." He walked closer to the main display. It showed the assembly world. A shining planet covered in cities, ports, and defense rings. Thousands of alien ships were already arriving. "They mock us openly now," Liana said. Some leaders made jokes during public broadcasts. Kang Dejin gave a small breath, not quite a smile. They always talk loud when they think no one is listening. Far above Earth, beyond the moon, the truth waited in silence. Space was dark and empty, but it was full of human machines. One after another, massive warships floated in perfect stillness. Their hulls were clean and gray. No lights flashed. No signals moved. They looked like sleeping giants. There were 1,000 of them. Each ship was the result of years of work. Earth had learned long ago that noise brought danger. When humans first reached the stars, they sent friendly messages. They showed curiosity. What came back was not kindness. It was raids, lost colonies, and quiet threats. Humanity survived by pulling back. It built deeper, stronger, and smarter. It watched the galaxy instead of speaking to it. Park Jiwan stood on the command deck of the lead warship. The space outside his view was black, dotted with distant stars. His hands rested behind his back. "All fleets report ready," an officer said. Park Jiwan nodded once. "Hold position." No movement without command. "Yes, Commander." The fleet did not rush. It did not drift. It waited. Back at the Galaxy Assembly Station, the mood was loud and careless. Leaders argued over old issues. Smaller species tried to be heard. Large empires showed off their guards and escorts. One alien leader laughed as he spoke. Another assembly without the silent world. Perhaps Earth no longer exists. More laughter followed. Kim Siren watched from a small private chamber near the edge of the station. She was young, but her expression was steady. She wore a plain suit, no weapons, no armor. A single badge marked her as human. She was alone. Security drones watched her closely. Alien guards whispered to each other. No one had expected a human to arrive at all, and certainly not alone. Kim Siren folded her hands and waited. Time passed. Then the first warning sounded. It was soft at first. A low alert tone spread through the station systems. Screens flickered. Navigation data shifted. "What is that?" A leader asked. Sensors updated. Massive distortion appeared at the edge of the system. Then another. Then hundreds. The laughter stopped. Outside the assembly world, space tore open with controlled force. One by one, human warships exited warp. They did not rush forward. They did not aim weapons. They took positions. Perfect positions. A ring formed around the planet. Then another. Then another. 1,000 warships parked in orbit. No shots were fired. No threats were sent. The silence was heavier than any explosion. Inside the station, alarms escalated. Leaders shouted. Guards raised weapons that suddenly felt very small. Identify those ships. Human design confirmed. Power readings are off the scale. Fear spread fast. Kim Siren stood and stepped forward. Station security tried to stop her, then hesitated. Every screen in the assembly hall turned to one signal. Kang Dejin's face appeared. He looked calm, almost gentle. Members of the Galaxy Assembly, he said. His voice was clear and steady. Earth apologizes for missing your previous meetings. The hall was silent. We were busy, Kang Dejin continued. Busy surviving. Busy learning. Busy making sure this moment would be peaceful. Some leaders tried to speak, but their voices failed. We have no intention of attacking, he said. Our fleet will not fire unless fired upon. We are here to listen. The image shifted to show the human fleet outside, orderly, controlled. We are also here to make something clear, Kang Dejin said. Earth is no longer absent. The signal ended. In orbit, Park Ji-won watched the planet below. He exhaled slowly. All weapons remain locked, he ordered. Yes, Commander. On the assembly station, leaders stared at the stars with new understanding. The galaxy had spoken for centuries. Without Earth. Now, Earth had arrived, and it had brought silence with it. Fear moved faster than sound inside the assembly station. Leaders shouted orders. Guards ran through wide halls. Screens showed the same image again and again. Human warships. 1,000 of them. They did not move. They did not glow with threat. They simply stayed. Kim Siren walked forward with slow steps. Her hands were open. Her face showed no fear. Many eyes followed her. Some were angry. Some were afraid. Some were curious. A tall alien guard blocked her path. Its armor was thick and sharp. She is human, another guard said. She came alone. The tall guard hesitated. Then it stepped aside. Kim Siren entered the main hall. The space was wide and bright. Symbols of many worlds floated above long tables. The air was tense. An alien leader pointed at her. Why now? Why bring warships? Kim Siren stopped at the center. Earth did not bring war. Earth brought proof. Murmurs spread. Proof of what? That we exist, she said. And that we are careful. Some laughed weakly. Others stayed silent. Far above the planet, Park Ji-won watched data flow across his screens. Energy levels were stable. Weapons were locked. Shields were strong but passive. Any movement from alien fleets? He asked. Minor repositioning only, an officer replied. No attack signs. Park Ji-won nodded. Maintain distance. Keep formation. Yes, Commander. He looked at the planet below. He remembered stories from early space days. Lost ships. Broken talks. Humans learned that strength without control was just fear. On Earth, Lee Hanna stood beside Kang Dejin as new messages arrived. They are divided, Lee Hanna said. Some want to push us out. Others want to talk. Kang Dejin folded his hands. That is normal. Fear makes loud voices. The hostile bloc is gathering ships, Lee Hanna added. They may test us. Kang Dejin looked at the fleet display. If they test us, we will answer without anger. Back in the assembly hall, a small alien leader stood. Its voice shook. You ignored us for cycles, it said. Now you arrive with power. Why should we trust you? Kim Siren listened. Then she spoke. Earth listened while being ignored, she said. Earth watched while being judged. We did not come before because coming weak would have ended us. A heavy silence followed. Is this a threat? Another leader demanded. No, Kim Sieran said. This is an ending. To what? To the idea that humans must ask for space. Outside, alien fleets shifted again. A small group of warships from a proud empire moved closer to the human line. Weapons powered up. On the lead human ship, alarms stayed quiet. Park Ji-won raised one hand. Target lock only, he said. No fire. Yes, Commander. Human sensors tracked every movement. Solutions formed and waited dot inside the assembly. Screens changed. A new feed appeared. It showed a human colony world from years ago. Ruins covered the land. This was our greeting, Kim Sieran said softly. We learned. Images changed. Humans building underground cities. Ships hidden in deep space. Fleets training without banners. We chose silence over noise, she said. Growth over pride. Some leaders shifted in their seats. The hostile alien fleet moved closer. Park Ji-won watched the distance close. He breathed slowly. Prepare defensive response, he said. Non-lethal, yes. A bright flash crossed space. Not a weapon. A signal. The alien ships fired a warning shot. It missed by design on the human side. Shields flared once, calm and controlled. Park Ji-won spoke again. Disable forward weapons. One volley. Human ships moved as one. A soft wave of energy crossed space. Alien weapon systems went dark. Engines slowed. Ships drifted. No hulls broke. No lives were lost. The galaxy watched. Inside the assembly. Gasps filled the hall. They could have destroyed them. A leader whispered. They chose not to, another replied. Kim Sieran stood straight. This is why we came now, she said. Power without control destroys trust. Control builds it. The hostile leader tried to speak, but its image flickered. Its fleet was helpless. We will not strike unless forced. Kang Daejin's voice echoed through the hall again. The test is over. On Earth, Lee Hana allowed herself a small breath of relief. They saw it, she said. Yes, Kang Daejin replied. Now they must decide what kind of galaxy they want. Back in orbit, Park Ji-won lowered his hand. Return to full hold, he ordered. Yes. Commander. The human fleet returned to silence. In the assembly hall. Leaders looked at Kim Sieran with new eyes. Fear was still there, but respect had begun to grow. A small leader spoke again. What does Earth want? Kim Sieran answered without pause. A seat, a voice, and rules that protect the weak. The hall stayed quiet. Outside, the stars did not move. 1,000 warships waited. For the first time in many cycles. The galaxy understood that Earth had not missed the assembly. Earth had been preparing for it. The assembly hall did not return to noise. It stayed quiet, heavy with thought. Leaders looked at each other instead of shouting. The image of disabled alien ships still hung in the air. It was clear and calm, like a lesson written in light. Kim Sieran remained where she stood. She did not move closer. She did not step back. She waited. A large alien leader finally spoke. You showed strength. You showed control. But strength fades. Why should we believe humans will not rule by fear later? Kim Sieran nodded once. Because fear made us what we are, she said, and we do not wish to live under it again. Her words spread slowly. Far above. The human fleet stayed still. Park Ji-won watched the system traffic. Many alien ships kept their distance. Some slowly powered down weapons. Long-range scans are clear, an officer said. No new threats. Park Ji-won allowed himself a small breath. Good. Discipline holds. He looked at the fleet status. 1,000 ships. Each captain waiting for a single word. That trust weighed heavy. but it felt right. On Earth, deep under the surface, Kang Dejin listened as advisors spoke in low voices. Li Hana stood beside him, reading new data. Public reaction across known space is shifting, she said. Fear is dropping. Curiosity is rising. That is the opening, Kang Dejin said. Now we speak carefully. He turned to the main channel. Prepare the history package, he ordered. Yes, Li Hana replied. Back in the assembly hall, screens changed again. This time they showed old human ships, small, weak, scarred. This was us, Kim Sieran said. When we first left our star, images followed. Broken colonies, empty stations, names of worlds lost. We asked for trade, she continued. We were answered with raids. We asked for space. We were pushed. Some alien leaders looked away. We learned a simple rule, Kim Sieran said. If you cannot defend your words do not matter. The images shifted again. Hidden shipyards. Quiet training fleets. Humans studying alien tactics. We did not grow fast, she said. We grew right. A smaller alien leader spoke. You watched us for cycles. Yes, Kim Sieran replied. And we learned your strengths and your mistakes. That caused unrest. Park Ji-won received a new alert. A different alien group was sending a request. Commander, an officer said. Diplomatic channel, open request. Park Ji-won considered for a moment. Route it to Earth Command. We are the shield, not the voice. Yes, Commander. In the assembly, a new speaker stood. This leader's tone was cautious, not hostile. If Earth joins us, the leader said, what changes? Kim Sieran did not hesitate. The rules must protect those without fleets, she said. No more silent destruction. No more punishment without hearing. Murmurs spread. And if we refuse, another leader asked. Kim Sieran met their gaze. Then Earth will still exist, strong, watching. That truth landed hard. Outside. Park Ji-won adjusted fleet spacing. The movement was small but visible. A reminder, no aggression, he reminded his officers. Presence only, yes. On Earth, Li Hana reviewed ancient logs. She spoke softly. If this fails, we fall back. Kang Dejin shook his head. No, if this fails, we endure. That is what we do. Back in the hall, a leader raised a question many feared to ask. Why now? Why not wait longer? Kim Sieran looked up at the stars beyond the glass. Because the galaxy is growing unstable, she said. Old powers weaken. New ones rise without rules. Silence will soon invite fire. She turned back. We chose to arrive before that fire spread. The hall remained quiet. A sudden alert flashed across the station. Not a threat. A message. One of the disabled alien fleets was requesting assistance. Park Ji-won received it at the same time. Commander, an officer said. They ask for help restoring basic systems. Park Ji-won paused, then nodded. Send repair drones. Limited function. Escort only, yes. Small human craft left the fleet. They moved slowly. No weapons active. Inside the assembly, the request was announced. Gasps followed. They helped those who tested them. Someone whispered. Kim Sieran spoke softly. Strength that cannot show mercy is weakness. As human drones repaired alien ships, trust shifted again. Not fully. Not yet. But enough. A senior leader stood. We propose a closed council with Earth. Others nodded. Some resisted, but fewer than before. Kang Dejin's voice came through once more. Earth accepts. The image faded. Park Ji-won watched the drones return safely. No attacks. No tricks. Fleet remains steady, he said. Yes, Commander. In the assembly hall, Kim Sieran finally allowed herself to sit. Her hands trembled slightly. She hit it well. The galaxy had not embraced Earth, but it had stopped laughing. And for humans, that was the moment everything changed. The closed council chamber was smaller than the main hall. The lights were softer. Only selected leaders were present. Guards waited outside. The air felt heavy, not with fear now, but with careful thought. Kim Siren sat at one side of the round table. She was no longer alone. A soft light showed Earth's symbol beside her. Across from her sat leaders of old empires and young worlds. Some looked tired. Some looked uncertain. A senior leader spoke first. Earth asks for new rules. Rules change balance. Kim Siren nodded. Balance already changed, she said. Earth simply arrived to make it clear. Outside the chamber, the human fleet remained unmoving. Park Ji-won watched the council feed from his command chair. He could see tension in every face. Any sign of movement? He asked. None, an officer replied. Alien fleets remain passive. Good, Park Ji-won said. We hold. Back in the chamber, another leader leaned forward. Your fleet is large. Larger than many combined. How do we know you will not decide everything by force later? Kim Siren folded her hands. Because force ends talks, she said. And Earth needs talks to last. She looked around the table. We do not seek control. We seek stability. That word echoed. On Earth, Lee Hana watched the meeting in silence. Kang Daejin stood behind her, listening. They are afraid of losing power. Lee Hana said. They already are, Kang Daejin replied. They just do not see it yet. In the council chamber, a small world's leader spoke with care. If Earth becomes a guardian, who guards Earth? Kim Siren answered without pause. The same thing that always has? Consequences. Some leaders exchanged looks. A new alert flashed across Park Ji-won's board. A distant system showed unusual activity. Not an attack. A migration. Commander, an officer said. Several weaker worlds are moving ships closer to our fleet. Seeking protection. Park Ji-won considered this. Allow approach. Maintain distance. No escorts unless asked. Yes. Small alien ships slowly moved toward the human formation. They stayed outside weapon range. Still, the message was clear. Back in the chamber, the shift was felt. Reports arrived. They hide behind human steel, one leader said sharply. They seek safety, Kim Siren replied. Something many here forgot how to provide. Silence followed. One leader rose. This one had once laughed openly about Earth. If we accept your proposal, the leader said, what does Earth give in return? Kim Siren looked up. Commitment, she said. Presence. And protection that does not demand loyalty. The words caused unrest. You protect without command, the leader asked. Yes, Kim Siren said. Because forced loyalty breaks the moment fear fades. On Earth, Kang Daejin finally spoke. Open secondary channel, he ordered. Lee Hana did so. Kang Daejin's image appeared in the chamber, calm and clear. Earth spent its early history fighting itself, he said. We learned that power without trust burns quickly. We are here to help this galaxy avoid that lesson. A leader spoke carefully. And if someone breaks these rules? Kang Daejin's gaze hardened slightly. Then Earth will respond, he said. Clearly, publicly, fairly. Outside, Park Ji-won felt the weight of that promise. Another message arrived. The hostile empire from before was sending apology signals. Commander, an officer said. They request permission to restore full engines and withdraw. Park Ji-won nodded. Granted. Escort until clear. Yes. Human ships moved with smooth precision. The galaxy watched again. Inside the chamber, reports of the escort spread. They let them leave. A leader whispered. Kim Siren nodded. The point was never to trap anyone. The council stretched on. Words replaced threats. Conditions were set. Limits defined. Oversight discussed. It was not peace yet, but it was structured. At last, a senior leader spoke. We will draft a trial accord. Earth will sit as observer and protector. Kim Siren allowed herself a slow breath. Earth accepts. On Earth, Lee Hana smiled faintly. They stepped back from the edge, she said. For now, Kong Dejin replied. We must remain steady. In orbit, Park Ji-won watched alien ships pass safely through the human lines. No attacks. No accidents. All fleets report calm. An officer said. Park Ji-won nodded. Then we are doing our job. Back in the assembly station, leaders left the chamber quieter than they entered. Some looked thoughtful. Some worried. Some relieved. Kim Siren remained seated for a moment after they left. Her shoulders lowered slightly. Earth had not taken the galaxy. It had taken responsibility, and that weight was heavier than any weapon. The trial accord moved faster than anyone expected. Word spread across known space. Worlds that had stayed quiet for cycles sent observers. Trade lanes slowed as ships watched the human fleet that still held its careful ring around the room. Assembly World. Kim Siren walked through the station halls without escort. Guards still watched her, but their posture had changed. Curiosity replaced fear. Respect followed behind. Inside a smaller chamber, teams worked on shared rules. Screens showed lines of simple language. Limits on force. Clear borders. Open warnings before action. Protection for worlds that could not protect themselves. Lee Hana joined by secure link from Earth. She spoke in calm tones, explaining systems and checks. She avoided complex words. She avoided threats. Rules must be easy to read, she said. If they are simple, they can be followed. Leaders listened. Outside, Park Ji-won received a request from a convoy of weak worlds. Pirates had followed them for days. Commander, an officer said. They asked for passage cover. Park Ji-won looked at the map. The route passed near the human formation. Grant Corridor, he said. No pursuit beyond marked space. Yes. Human ships shifted slightly. Not a chase. Not an attack. Just a wall that moved aside and then closed again. The pirate ships vanished from sensors soon after. News of this spread fast. In the assembly. A leader who once mocked Earth stood again. His voice was quieter now. You are changing the flow of power, he said. Kim Siren nodded. Power always flows, she said. We are only placing banks so it does not drown the small. The leader looked at the fleet image. And if Earth falls? Kim Siren answered honestly. Then the galaxy will have learned enough to stand longer without us. That answer stayed with many. On Earth, Kong Dejin watched reports arrive. Markets adjusted. Borders cooled. Long wars paused as fleets waited to see what humans would do next. We must not rush, he said. Every action now teaches. Lee Hana agreed. They are copying our restraint. That is the goal, Kong Dejin replied. A final vote was called at the assembly. Not all agreed. Enough did. Earth was granted a permanent seat. Not as ruler. Not as judge. As guardian. The announcement echoed across space. In orbit, Park Ji-won stood straighter. He felt pride, but it stayed quiet. Fleet, he said over open channel. Maintain posture. Begin gradual drawdown in outer rings. Keep core presence. Yes, Commander, came the unified reply. One by one, outer ships moved back a fraction. The formation remained strong, but less heavy. A sign of trust. Kim Siren stood at the main viewport as the vote ended. Stars reflected in the glass. Her hands shook again, just a little. A small leader approached her. Will you stay? Yes, Kim Siren said. For as long as needed. The leader nodded. Then perhaps we will finally learn peace that lasts. Time passed. The human fleet stayed for weeks. Then months. Trade resumed under watchful eyes. Disputes were brought forward before weapons powered up. When a strong empire broke a rule, Earth responded as promised. Public warning. Clear demand. Limited force that stopped at the line. The galaxy watched. Learned. Park Jiwan led rotations. Crews rested. Drills continued. No celebrations. This is not an ending, he reminded them. It is a duty. Yes, Commander. On Earth, children watched the stars and saw human ships guarding distant worlds. Not conquering. Guarding. Kong Dasian stood alone one night, looking at a quiet sky. We did not arrive late, he said softly. We arrived ready. At the assembly, Kim Siren sent a simple message across all channels. Earth missed your meetings, it said. We did not miss your need. The message spread. It was repeated. It became history. Far above, the human warships held their place. Not as a threat. As a promise.